Today is Monday, November 6th, AD 2023. Good evening and welcome to News Desk 45 minutes of news about Liberia, Africa, and elsewhere. My name is Henson Decker, presenting in Airlines Civil Law Code 6, the arrest of businessman Augustine Johnson in connection to a petition to recover charter orders, the appearance of the living body. The Bush President George Weah campaigns on a pro-tempore arbor. She launches Operation Weah 100% zero in Grand Crew County. Defeated presidential candidate Shakwiyata calls for the restoration of Liberia's sanity. Opposition United Party Standard Bearer is Liberia's best alternative. And in foreign news, the BBC is reporting that South Africa says it is recording all of its diplomats from following Israel's intense airstrikes on Gaza on Sunday night. The details of these developments, the news bulletin, the voices of the newsmakers post are anticipated on today's edition of the news program. We take a break to rejoin you. Go ahead. Welcome.
Good evening, Henson, and good evening to all. The Civil Court is seeking the arrest of businessman Augustine Johnson in connection to a petition to recover chattel. Judge Kennedy P. Body Monday instituted the court officers to arrest the living body of businessman Johnson for contempt. Judge P. Body's November 6 arrest order, according to RCA judicial correspondence, comes as a result of Johnson's alleged refusal to appear in court and surrendered about 10 trucks to the management of Krish Vineyard Industries, following a mandate from the justice resided in chamber at the Supreme Court. Our judicial correspondent further revealed that the court officers, backed with armed police, are currently in pursuit of businessman Augustine Johnson to compel him come under the jurisdiction of court phase to civil prosecution as provided by law. The pro-tem of the Liberian Senate, Aberchir, has launched a campaign in Grand Crew County codenamed Operation We Are 100% Waka Zero. The Operation We Are 100% Waka Zero campaign, according to Senator Cheer, is intended to ensure that 100% of the votes in Grand Crew and all the southeastern counties are casted for President George Weah during the November 14 runoff election. Launching the campaign for President Weah's re-election for the November 14 poll, Senator Cheer indicated that during the October 10 elections, their opponent, Joseph Walker, received votes in Grand Crew County, but cautioned the citizens and residents of the county to ensure that President Weah gets 100% of the total votes. He used the occasion to thank the people of Grand Crew for turning out in their numbers to vote in a Deputy Speaker for Nancy Kofod, including President George Weah, during the October 10th poll. The Grand Crew County lawmaker at the same time urged citizens from different counties residing in Grand Crew to equally vote President George Weah, noting that they are beneficiaries of the development in that part of the country. Also speaking, Grand Crew County Senator Yimani Batikwa commended the citizens for overwhelmingly voting President Weah, Pro Tem Cheer, and Deputy Speaker Kofa during the October polls, and called on them to complete the task by ensuring that President Weah is re-elected on November 14. Defeated presidential candidate Shakwiyata says his support for the election of opposition Unity Party's standard bearer is to restore sanity to the country. Kuyate asserted that Ambassador Joseph Bakar of the Unity Party is someone who does not support corrupt practices. As such, his election would be the golden opportunity for the people of Liberia. He noted that the November 14, 2023 election is not about Unity Party and CDC, but rather to save Liberia from its backwardness at the hands of the Weah's administration. Kuyate would proud, the state of the country said most of those who voted against President Weah during the October 10 general elections were citizens due to what he calls extreme hardship. Speaking on State of the Nation, Chief FM, the comparison of Ambassador Bwaka's 40 years of service in government with President Weah's 9 years in government, the corrupt nature of President Weah shows the difference, Kuyate said. 5 volunteers of the Liberia Standard Authority have been arrested by officers of the Liberia National Police. The volunteers who are currently undergoing police investigation is due to their alleged action of shutting down the entire offices and depriving workers from entering the building of the Liberia Standard Authority. Speaking Monday to reporters, Deputy Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Wilfred Bangura, said the volunteers are not employees of the institution. According to him, they is the channel through which an aggrieved employee of the ministry seeks redress to their concerns instead of staging protest. Movement for Economic Empowerment has called for the rejection of opposition Unity Party standard bearer Joseph Waka. Robert Simon said the rejection of Ambassador Bwaka will create opportunities for continuous developments in the country. The move, Chairman noted that his assertion stems from what he perceived as Unity Party's failure to meet its rental fee obligations. Waka's 40 years in office with little or no effort for the development of the country. Liberia Council of Churches former President Bishop Cotto Brown is calling on the Liberian government to implement a comprehensive action plan to raise awareness and address the issue of statelessness within the country. Brown, who is the chairman of Church Aid Incorporated, emphasized the need for Liberians to understand the importance of tackling statelessness and stressed the urgency of creating awareness. This year's event was celebrated under the theme Strengthening Birth Registration, Awareness Raising Equal Nationality Rights and Statelessness. Bishop Brown spoke at program marking the 9th anniversary of World Against Statelessness in Monrovia. National Consortium of Teachers and University Lecturers has officially endorsed President George Weah's bid for re-election in the upcoming October 14 runoff election. The consortium, led by its national coordinator, Professor Emmanuel Balti, boasted of a membership exceeding 40,000 individuals across professional colleges and junior colleges and universities in the country. Professor Balti, who highlighted the consortium's decision to support President Weah's re-election, stated that the incumbent president has undertaken numerous initiatives, thus leading to advanced education. The civil law court is seeking the arrest of businessman Augustine Johnson in connection to a petition to recover chattel. 3 young journalists have been awarded for their outstanding performances in the Liberian media. The initiative was organized by a pro-media group, Youth Media Action, with support from usage through Internews to recognize youthful journalists for their enormous contributions and outstanding performances in the media. The first Young Journalist Award was held under the theme Promoting Youthful Media Excellence for Professional Journalism. The event had 23 contestants from 19 media institutions, to include journalists from Bong, Grand Bassel, Grand Cru, Margibi, Montserrado, and Nimba counties. Amongst the applicants, FM News director Siawe Miapu was awarded as the Young Journalist of the Year, while Women's TV senior female reporter Lee Macaulay and ELBC Macaulay were awarded first and second runner-up, respectively. Over 20 Liberian journalists are currently benefiting from a two-day investigative journalism training in Monrovia. This symposium is organized by the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building with support from the United States Agency for International Development. The journalists drawn from Bedford, Grand Cape Mount, Nimba, Magibi, Bong, and Sano counties are expected to form an investigative journalism network at the end of the event, as they will be expected to unearth hidden issues affecting the country. Serving as keynote speaker, the chairman of the Department of Communications and Media Studies at the University of Liberia, Uriah Toga, said investigative journalism is unique because it transcends the daily information against the society. Though Toga highlighted the challenges ranging from slow pace of access to information, threats, physical attacks are some of the reasons of fear for investigative journalism, as well as financial constraints. Away from Liberia, South Africa says it is calling all of its diplomats from Tel Aviv following Israel's intense airstrikes on Gaza on Sunday night. The bombardment was one of Israel's heaviest since the war began a month ago. According to Gaza City's Shiva Hospital, about 200 people were killed. South Africa's president, which has long been a vocal supporter of the Palestinian cause, staunchly condemned Israel on Monday. Well, hence, that's the news lesson. I think we're going to go far.
Will you? You. No, I want to like yeah, that's more down. Thanks to Olivia Bound for the news bulletin, the foreign development. The news bulletin, it is a regular feature on the news program. If you are just joining us, in one of the top developments, we are following civil law could 60 arrest of businessman Augustine Johnson in connection for a petition to recover charter orders, the appearance of his living body. Let's bring in the voices of the newsmakers. Defeat the presidential candidate Sheikh Kuyata says his support for the election of opposition United Party Standard Barrier is to restore sanity to the country. Kuyata executive that Ambassador Bwakan of the Unity Party is someone who do not support corrupt practices. As such, his election will be a golden opportunity for the people of Liberia.
We have many reasons why I chose Ambassador Joseph Numa Bwaka Senior above President Josh Maiwea, who happens to be a long-time friend. But I look at the two candidates and I said to myself that this election is not about CNC or youth progression or retrogression. And when we say that, retrogression means backwardness or forwardness. If you want to go in front, you want to go backward. I realized that President George Maiwea was the hope of the Liberian people. His image was an inspiration for hope for this country. People saw him as the only person that could reconcile this country. People saw him as one person who succeeded in sport, a lot of money. And he invested his money in Liberian people. He supported many young people in the schools and all things. And he was not focused on building illusory houses. He would never focus living like a football athlete. He was more focused, as a nationalist, as a patriot. So based on that, the young people of this country, the Liberian people, overwhelmingly supported him. And he won election when everybody felt that Mr. We are president, we will reconcile Liberia. Mr. We are president, we Liberians, Mr. We are president, so we provide leadership. Mr. We are president, so we provide development for in the country. But to our utmost surprise, it was the contrary. And when I look at that, how Mr. We are going to keep his promise with the LPDP and NPP, and I realize how Mr. We are going to reconcile Liberians. We begin to see a nation divided. If you're not sedition, you cannot be in a ministry. If you're not sedition, you cannot have opportunities. It became a problem. And I tell you today, they use the word sedition, but most of those who are today unemployed are those who are the sedition, who are the true seditionists. And most of those who even voted against President George were in these elections, we have seditions that voted him out, that said you cannot win just one round. He expected that based on he expected to have won. It was possible.
On a first round set.
Yeah. So let me tell you that he had this assurance that the people who vote for me, not being president, I had never served as president, they could vote for me overwhelmingly. Well, out of 15 counties, I could get up, 14 counties voted for me overwhelmingly, and I had no money at that time. Now that I do have money, I think I can win this place just one round. That is where the issue of one round came about. But I can tell you why you say when you compare President George Weah, 6 years, I mean, let's assume 9 years in politics, where he served as senator for 3 years, 9 years in politics, and you look at Joseph Yumabwaka, 40 years in politics. His 40 years in politics, there's no record of his being involved in corruption. Omebwaka, this may have been in public service for 40 years. He has no record of corruption. He has no record of being involved in a war crime or economic crimes. He has played no part in bringing this country backward. And we look at Mr. President George Weah, who is a good friend of mine, just being in politics for 9 years. In 9 years' time, he has today over 65 homes for himself, when Omebwaka in 40 years being in politics had just one home.
The voice of defeated presidential candidate Sheikh Kuyate, they're speaking. 5 volunteers at the Liberia Standard Authority have been arrested by officers of the Liberia National Police. The volunteers, who are currently undergoing police investigation, is due to the alleged action of shutting down the entire offices and depriving workers from entering the building of the Liberia Standard Authority. Speaking Monday to reporters, Deputy Minister of Administration at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Wilfred Bangura, said the volunteers are not employees of the institution.
The 5 of them have been assessed. These are our personnel management system in our databases. They are not captured as our employees. They call themselves volunteers. The Standards Authority has been accommodating them because they come from, according to Mr. Mabu, requesting to practice. And so they came as interns. That period had since elapsed, and they asked that they wanted to continue the practice there. Mr. Mambu, who is the administrator of the lab, accepted that should happen. So this is how these 5 people come to be associated with the Standards Laboratory. The 5 of them now are claiming that they are employees, but there's no records in our HR or database that shows that they are employees of the ministry. We have made that very clear. The other thing is that the 5 of them went clandestinely this morning, and they took away all of the keys of the entity, which is normally stored or saved at the dashboard. They took all of those keys, they put those keys in their bag and made away with those keys, and they came bearing placards in their hands. While it's true that we encourage protests, we see protests as a last resort, but the ministry has not even been made aware of individuals, of these employees from there who have grievances and would like to meet with the minister. They have never asked to meet with the minister. We have no idea. People there with grievances or people wanting to meet with the authority, and the authority is not granting them the audience. We have absolutely no idea. It was just a big surprise. In fact, it's more surprising to see that even the people who are protesting are people who are not employees of the entity. They are volunteers.
The voice of Deputy Commerce Minister for Administration, Wilfred Bangura. Movement for Economic Empowerment has called for the rejection of opposition United Party Standard Bearer Joseph Boakai. The chairman of the institution, Robert Summins, said the rejection of Ambassador Boakai will create opportunities for continuous developments in the country.
Let's talk about United Party. After 2 years, that was being put out from their head, but the wrong place to sit. In the country, the wrong offices. So I can compare a party that got state power for 2 years and was not able to maintain for a bunch of irresponsible people in leadership. Move is in all of the countries. The United Party in Liberia that the second in terms of organization and structure is the corporate for democracy. So I have said that you should have been ashamed of himself, knowing their recent history, where they were destroyed, and they don't even got help for us to come and look at organized and civil people party for historic day. I was in Budapest with my chief. We returned to Liberia with 100 scholarship But youth development every year, more than 100 Liberians travel to China. Youth development. So which way you can develop the people if you don't develop the mind? Which other way can you use to develop youth if their minds are not developed and they don't have skills? The youth have been developed. Even in the health sector, you remember nurses and specialized doctors that have gone out to study to come back. You can't continue to be blind. The realities are there. But if you want to be blind, sometimes when you check the blindness, it may become perpetual.
Robert Sami is the chairman for the Movement for Economic Empowerment. Liberia Council of Churches permanent President Bishop Kotu Brown is calling on the Liberian government to implement a comprehensive action plan to raise awareness and address the issue of statelessness within the country. Brown, who is the chairman of Church Aid Incorporated, emphasized the need for Liberians to understand the importance of tackling statelessness and stressed the urgency of creating awareness.
And one of the mistakes that Liberia continues to make is that we think somebody will come from somewhere and deliver this country. That's why, again, we use this occasion to renew our call to the government of Liberia. Let's pass the national plan of action. That plan of action has been adopted. Stakeholders met all the auspices of the UNHCR. We've done it before, we've done it again, we've done it. But up to now, the government of Liberia through the cabinet has not passed that plan. The plan was for 10 years, and now we got only 1 year left. The Ellen Johnson administration did not pass the plan. The George Weah administration has not passed the plan. So we want to appeal that the government of Liberia will pass the plan that will set a national stage for this global campaign. We want to appeal to the partners, the UNHCR and other people. You got to put money into the campaign, put resources into the campaign. We Liberians and we Africans, we take a lot of things for granted. And sometimes there are important things that have been said and we will not even pay attention. Sometimes that happens to myself. You will not pay attention until it becomes something that will jam you, Jam you before you start. Oh, the whole world wasn't focused on the plight of stateless people until 10 years ago. Do you understand that there are more than 15 million people in the world who don't have citizenship in any country? They can't say I'm a Liberian. They can't say I'm a Sierra Leonean. They can't say I'm a Ghanaian. They can't say I'm an Ivorian. In Article, it has to be what? 100% man and pa. Then you are a citizen of Articles. In Liberia, Liberian law say you gotta be, your man and pa gotta be what? Liberian or your pa, Liberian, the old law. For us inside, last year we changed the law, and then that any Liberian woman now you go outside and you take Nigerian man and you born baby, that child is what? A Liberian.
The voice of the former president of the Liberia Council of Churches, Bishop Kotu Brown. National Consortium of Teachers and University Lecturers has officially endorsed President George Weah's bid for re-election in the upcoming November 14 runoff. The consortium, led by its national coordinator, Professor Manabati, boasted of a membership exceeding 40,000 individuals across professional colleges, junior colleges, and universities in the country.
The National Consortium of Teachers and University Lecturers of Liberia do hereby fully endorse the runoff re-election of His Excellency, President George Weah, for continuity of his water developmental agenda of Liberia and the prevalence of peace, tranquility, and progress. Most respectfully, we hereby call upon all teachers, lecturers, students, school administrators, and progressive-minded citizens throughout Liberia to stand up, stand out, and stand with us to vote for President Weah re-election for his 7th term. So, consortium of teachers and university lecturers is pleased to acknowledge the level of support and contributions made by His Excellency, President George Weah. The consortium appreciates President Weah's accomplishments during his term of leadership since 2018. President Weah sustained the provision of free tuition offered to public universities and colleges since October 2018, benefiting over 30,000 students annually. President Weah's government initiated, maintained, and sustained wise fees payment for all 12 graders. President Weah's government employed 3,500 supplementary teachers on the civil service payroll. President Weah's government trained and employed 1,300 guidance counselors on the civil service payroll for schools across Liberia. President Weah's government actualized the digitalization of the state's premier university, the University of Liberia registration process. We have often commenced and proceeded in conflict among students during registration. Proceeding his presidency in 2018, the U.S. student registration processes are stress-free. President Weah's government has increased access to tertiary education institutions across Liberia. In 2017, there were 38 accredited tertiary institutions, both junior colleges and universities. In 2023, an additional 23 tertiary institutions have been added, making it 61.
The voice of Professor Emmanuel Bati there, the national coordinator of the National Consortium of Teachers and University Lecturers, that endorsing President George Weah's re-election bid. Over 20 Liberian journalists are currently benefiting from a two-day investigative journalism training in Monrovia. The symposium is organized by the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building with support from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The journalists drawn from Riverside, Grand, Cape Mount, Nema, Malkibi, Bond, and Sano counties are expected to form an investigative journalism network at the end of the event, as they will be expected to unearth hidden issues affecting the country. Serving as keynote speaker, the chairman of the Department of Communications and Media Studies at the University of Liberia, Uras Toga, said investigative journalism is unique because it transcends the data information against the society.
Investigative journalism is distinguished and unique from traditional journalism because it delves deep into issues, scrutinizes details with the overarching goal of revealing realities that powerful individuals, institutions, and organizations might seek at any cost to obscure from the public. It is this degree of professionalism characterized by dedication and resilience that makes investigative journalism an essential pillar of the journalism profession. Unlike the popular form of journalism, which many of us now seek for stardom and personal gain, investigative journalism transcends the daily news cycle, providing a level of depth and insight that is crucial for understanding complex societal issues. It exposes corruption, abuse of power, corporate malfeasance, etc. More importantly, investigative journalism compared to traditional journalism often produces social and other important reform. Notwithstanding, investigative journalists face numerous challenges. These include, but are not limited to, threats to their personal safety, legal hurdles, financial constraints, and the challenge associated with access to information. As a journalism educator with strong liking for investigative journalism, most of my students and aspiring journalists constantly express concerns for personal safety above all other challenges and constraints investigative journalists face. To validate this cardinal concern, young aspiring journalists cite instances of threats and psychological and physical attacks against journalists as reason for fear of practicing investigative journalism. Even as we cite and teach the theoretical traits of courage and resilience of investigative journalists, everyday reports of harassments, threats, and attacks against journalists undermine interest in investigative journalism, thereby posing a threat to the future of the practice itself. As mentioned earlier, legal hurdles and financial constraints are also challenges standing in the way of the flourishing of investigative journalism in Liberia. Politicized legal suit and the mere threat of them, worsened by the thought of potentially facing it unsupported, also undermine interest in investigative journalism.
For his part, the executive director for the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building training will help the investigative journalists to ensure that the training does to ensure that the necessary pieces of information are unearthed.
This activity is administered under the Nigerian Media Activity Project being implemented by interviews, select, and other local partners with funding support from the government and people of the United States to USAID. Specifically, this activity diplomatic activities for years under the LMA project that the Center for Media Studies has been implementing. Investigative journalism plays a critical role in undermining and bringing to light societal injustices such as human rights, among others. Again, investigative journalism stories should be published, often by requiring collaboration of your editors, lawyers, and even fact checkers to ensure that it has legal factual accuracy. As investigative journalists working on sensitive issues, you need to bear in mind that you face stress, violence, physical violations, intimidation from those seeking to suppress the news. Powerful entities and individuals will use the legal tactics to withhold advertising revenue, which all of us know is the lifeblood of the media, to silence you and your media entity. They are basically landmark cases around the world as it relates to investigative journalism. I will now pull you down with them. I believe some of these issues will come up during the debate.
Malcolm Joseph is the Executive Director for the Center for Media Studies and Peace Building there speaking. Earlier was the Chairman and Director of Communications at and Department of Communications and Media Studies at the University of Liberia, Uriah Togas. Let's now welcome Naomi Tapia to bring us the sporting developments on the news program. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, and good evening, everyone. Liberian Players Updates has reported that Lone Star coach Ansu Keita has called Liberian midfielder Noah Kane of Strawberry Town FC for the upcoming FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers. The English club has announced Liberia will host Malawi on Friday, November 17, and Equatorial Guinea on Monday, November 20, 2023 at the Samarkand Sports Complex. Another development, Mark Paba has been selected to Slovenia Prva Liga Team of the Week for the third time. The fullback's impressive 90 minutes performance to win FC Koper's 1-0 away victory over NK Rukaska at the weekend earned him a spot on the Team of the Week. Out of Koper's 14 league games this season, the 23-year-old has only missed one and has started all of the 13 he played. Ex-Africa's midfielder Yaya Toure has been appointed assistant coach of Saudi Arabian national team. The 40-year-old will be working with Roberto Mancini, who managed him at Manchester City. Mancini was named Saudi Arabia's head coach in August and has taken charge of 4 matches since then. Toure, who played for City for 8 years after signing in 2010, started coaching in 2019 and leaves his role at Belgian club Standard Liège. The former Barcelona midfielder has also spent time working with Ukrainian club Donetsk Olympic, Russia's Grozny, and as an academic coach at Tottenham Hotspur. During his playing career, Toure earned 1 caps for Africa, winning the Africa Cup of Nations in 2015, as well as 18 trophies in club football across spheres in Greece, Spain, England, and China. And England will play friendlies against Brazil and Belgium at Wembley in March as they prepare for next summer's European Championships. The 3 Lions secured their place at Europe 2024 with 2 games to spare after beating Italy 3-1 in London in October. The rest of this squad will come up against 2 nations also featured in the top 5 of FIFA's world rankings. I'm happy to have 2 strong matches in March as we build towards the Euro final, manager Southgate said. England runners-up at Europe 2020 will host 5-time World Cup winners Brazil on 23 March before welcoming Belgium on 26 March. Brazil's most recent visit to Wembley ended in a goalless draw in November 2017, while England beat Belgium 2-1 in a Nations League fixture there in October 2020. Southgate's unbeaten side have taken 5 wins for 6 games in qualifying so far and will complete their campaign during November's international break, hosting Malta at Wembley on 17 November before traveling to North Macedonia on 20 November. That's all for our sports bets.
All segment. And of course, let's get to this development right here. 3 young journalists have been awarded for their outstanding performances in the Liberian media. The initiative was organized by a pro-media group, Youth Media Action, with support from usage through Internews. Our reporter, Kopa Sanga, attended the ceremony and fast this report.
The event was caught with several top-notch media practitioners in attendance at the Cinco Palace Hotel, where several promising media practitioners converged as recipients of the Young Journalist Award. The award, which was organized by our pro-media organization, Youth Media Action, with financial support from usage through Internews, seeks to motivate promising young Liberian journalists for their respective exceptional jobs. The captivating event considered the works of young media practitioners who have at least 2 years of active practicing experience, including students who are practicing at secondary schools. Daniel Ankara is the award committee chairperson with this introductory statement.
The Young Journalist Award and ideas with the intent of recognizing exceptional young talent from across Nigeria. The chairperson was a serious advocate for across several countries, including Breakthrough, Both, Nimba, and most other companies, representing 19 different.
Here is former Camara Youth Media Action Executive Director.
This award is grateful to our hardworking, distinguished professionals and experienced media colleagues with funding from Asian institutions. For us at Youth Media Action, out of the strongest foundation and the surest way to address challenges of brain drain, capacity gap, and female only representation in media, issue grassroots media development, and giving awards based on merit.
Internews senior journalist trainer Madame Thomas Solonte Brown described the young journalists as critical voices the media landscape must use to set the agenda.
Young journalists, you have a quality and ideal media landscape. You have the power to influence public opinion, set the agenda, and promote information material. And it is imperative this power properly and professionally. Secondly, independence is critical to the concept of journalism in Nigeria. I can aspect the importance of maintaining independence as a journalist. It is essential to stay true to your values and maintain your integrity in the face of pressure from powerful interests.
Those awarded at the event includes Cool FM News Director Siawe Miapu as Young Journalist of the Year, Women's CV Senior Female Reporter Lema Koli, and ELBC Emmanuel Koli were awarded first and second runner-up respectively. Youth Media Action has been involved in the molding of young journalists and has undertaken several youth journalist initiatives ranging from high school broadcaster, high school journalism, and the launch of the country's first young journalist manual for high school press club, among others. Can YMA's effort of providing sanity to the journalism profession be realized, provided that senior media practitioners are willing to desist from partisan journalism, blackmailing, among others, negative voices, and the fight against political infiltration in the media, considering the fact that many media institutions are owned by politicians. From the Cinco Palace Hotel in Congo Town, I'm Kupo Sanga reporting for RTR News.
Thanks to Kopa Sanga for that report. A Liberian cleric, Apostle Sagash's Jala, has decried the deceptive attitudes by Liberian politicians, especially to this 2023 elections. Apostle Jala, who is the founder of the Winners Fellowship Center International Church, lamented that it is frustrating to see some political actors expressing support for a particular candidate who was once abused and termed as incompetent.
Actually, I was speaking from the text when they carried a woman had been caught in adultery to Jesus from St. John chapter 8. And adultery has to be 2 persons, but they carried only 1 person, and they expected Jesus to prosecute the woman. And that was a deceptive action because they themselves said no, they had the idea. So they carried 1 person. So that from that point, I was saying that the church, because they were even church leader that carried them, I said the church are deceptive. People are in the church deceptive. Even politicians are deceptive. Some sometimes they will sit not just, but they will deeply go into a word like they are against this person, against the whole thing, and later on you see them going back to the same thing they were saying. And so the church needs to stand and just pray, because what the church needs not to take side in this kind of thing, the church needs to pray that God will open our eyes. I think I want to just try to elaborate that you are eating on the king table, you cannot say anything negative about the king, but it's good to give the truth, because the truth will set you free. When you say the truth, you know, will set you free. The truth will help you. You are not saying things just for yourself again. You are saying it for the nation. And you are a man of God, a woman of God. Knows that God is looking at you. You are the channel in which God is speaking. So,
Apostle Sagacious Jalad is the founder of the Windows Fellowship Center International Church of there. Speaking well. Folks, that's all the time we have to be with you on today's edition of the news program, News Desk. As we take leave of you, these are the top stories we have been following. Civil Law Code 60 arrest of businessman Augustine Johnson in connection to a petition to recover charter. Others, the appearance of his living body. To boost President George Weah campaigns on a pro-tempore Abachi launches Operation Weah 100% work at zero in Grand Creek County. Defeated presidential candidate Sheikh Kuyate calls for the restoration of Liberia's sanctity, says opposition Unity Party Standard Barrett is Liberia's best alternative. And in foreign news, the BBC is reporting that South Africa says it is recording out of its diplomats from Tel Aviv following Israel's intense airstrikes on Gaza on Sunday night. Many thanks to our correspondents, reporters, writers, editors, those who helped for making today's presentation of the news program a success. Now, Tapia factor in the sporting developments. Oliver Bound read for us news bulletin and the foreign development. Kuba Sangha Sada controlled and able coordinated the sound. My Tobian sat behind the camera and able coordinated this entire news production for and on behalf of the news team. My name is Henson Dega presenting.
When it comes to communication in Liberia, Orange is number one.
Orange is the best. Orange is the best. Oh, Orange is the best. Orange is the best.
Strongest network, widest coverage.
Orange is the best.
Fastest internet speed.
Orange is the best. People, Orange is the best. Yes, Orange is the best.
Nagatama, please woo. Company that's the Orange. Top number one.
Company Titama Orange, I don't got it best.
Orange will want you that telephone on.
Reliable, trusted, and dependable.
Orange is about 7.
Yeah, Orange is wrong.
Orange is the best.
It's all about what matters to you. Orange.
Let me make sure I got all the sanitary items I need. I'm checking my list. Oh, yes. One more item. Let me have a big bottle of Dettol, across the board.
Yes, the total amount is 3,000 LD.
Okay, let me give you your money. Hey, my people. I can't find my purse. Lola, I left it on my kitchen table. My husband is rushing me too much. What's I will do now?
Don't worry, Costa Woman. You can pay with your phone. Yes, the code here on the wall.
Awesome. Yes, I do have money on my phone.
With Orange Money,
Making payments for goods at your favorite store with your merchant is as easy as ABC. Dial *144#, select currency, select pay with Orange Money, and follow the instructions. With Orange Money, life is easier. No stress.
Orange. Orange.